Good evening. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite stocks, ITC. ITC has been doing very badly for the last 3 years, and I buy ITC regularly. And to those who follow me, I urge them to buy ITC. ITC stock prices have done extremely poorly over the last 3 years, and it has not gone up, and I don't expect it to go up in the near future. I take this opportunity to talk about ITC because of the simple reason the company declared its results yesterday. When you compare it year on year, the results are near far better because last year was a complete washout. This year was also impacted by the second wave of the pandemic. Therefore, when you compare quarter on quarter, the profits are down. Also, ITC says its treasury yields were less than what it was supposed to be, and therefore they struggled. Overall, they made a standalone profit of 3,013 crores and a consolidated profit of around 3,500 crores. With results like this, why do I recommend ITC? ITC is a powerhouse of a company. It is a company which is an amalgamation of four main businesses. It has paper and paper board. It has got a lot of FMCG products, primarily a cigarette company, and then it has what is the hotel segment. No other group in India is so well diversified. The quality of management in ITC is extremely good, though some of my friends would beg to disagree. But the problems that ITC face and why it will not go up for a long time are the following. One, the government holds a large portion of ITC through its indirect holding of through SUTI, which it got received after the disinvestment from UTI, that is US 64 was bailed out by the Vajpayee government. The government inherited a huge chunk of ITC shares. Now the government is desperate for cash. The government is running huge fiscal deficits, and so government is finding ways of selling these ITC shares. And government holding of ITC shares is slowly declining. The good news is over the next 2-3 years, the government is with so much profligate spending is going to run it down to zero. So when I last checked, government still had about 18% stake. As the government keeps on continuing to swell quarter after quarter, sooner or later it will have no stake. Then one assured source of supply is over. Normally, the other MNC stocks against which ITC is benchmarked do very well because the parent absorbs 75% of the equity. 75% of Hindustan Unilever is owned by Unilever Brothers. But ITC's parent, British American Tobacco, has a restriction. It cannot increase its shareholding from around 28% which it owns because manufacturing and distribution of cigarettes is banned. And manufacturing and distribution of cigarettes comes under a negative list for which FDI is not allowed. Therefore, British American Tobacco is not allowed to increase its stake to 75%. Had British American Tobacco been allowed to swallow ITC, it would have been a completely different story. The price of ITC would be in several thousands. ITC wouldn't have had hotels. ITC wouldn't have FMCG products. ITC would not be in paper division. All that would have been sold out, and 75% would be owned by British American Tobacco, and the company would have been extremely profitable and valuable for the shareholder. For a long time, the management of ITC led by Yogi Deveshwar and British American Tobacco have been at loggerheads, and Yogi Deveshwar was lobbying with government to make sure that the British American Tobacco would not take control of this company. He succeeded, and then came the advertising clamp on cigarettes, and people realized that cigarettes was very dangerous, and therefore there was a complete stop of manufacturing, importing, and distribution of cigarettes. But the problem was that cigarette was highly taxed, which meant smuggled cigarettes from China ruled the roost. Out of every 5 cigarettes sold in India, about 1.5 cigarettes is imported, and because of that, there is a serious problem. And there is only one serious competitor for ITC. So these two roadblocks make sure that his ITC's price is not going to dramatically change in the next 6 months to 1 year or even 3 years. In spite of this, why do I say that we should buy ITC? I am talked from a point of a retail investor. A retail investor looks for two things. He wants minimum downside and he wants assured return. The problem with ITC is because it is spewing a lot of cash, but it cannot use it to buy back shares because a British American Tobacco will not tender its shares, and so the shareholding size of British American Tobacco is bound to rise, and the government will not like that. So ITC cannot buy back its shares. ITC cannot ESOPs anymore because British American Tobacco does not want to dilute its shareholding. So the only way ITC can go up is when the government stops selling. The way the finances are, that government will not stop selling. But the performance of the company is so good that It cannot sink below a point. The fall in ITC share is dependent on how much stock the government is willing to sell. As I'm talking to you, the returns on ITC are not too great if you measure it in the regular stock format. But that is not the way to measure a return on ITC. If somebody had bought ITC last year, they could have bought it between 130 to 150 rupees. The dividend on offer per 8 rupees. That means you made nearly 6% on your investment. This year, as the first result goes out, it is very clear. And because ITC is going to have a bumper year, it means that the profits are going to be much higher. ITC has a declared policy on dividend. It says it will distribute 85% of its profits through dividends. I can expect this year ITC to be profitable enough to give 9 rupees in dividend. Last week, ITC was trading between 200.50 and 201. If somebody was lucky enough to buy it at 200 or 201 and is able to get a return of 9% at the end of the year, that is a 4.5% return, much more better than a fixed deposit. If ITC slightly outperforms, you may get 5%, and this 5% is fixed and will only continue to grow. So here I get three things. I get returns far better than that of fixed deposits, a company much safer than fixed deposits, and if I'm very patient to wait for 5 or 6 years, the government will sell out, the number of shares will come down, and automatically the price of ITC will increase. Thank you for watching. Be rich. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.